Hello, cruel world. This is Ace Vaughn Johnson from Faster Pussycat and LA Guns. Just letting you know you're listening to the Gary Brugman podcast. Rock and roll.
Yo, 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 it's your man's Big Daddy Roughneck. You're tuned into the Gary Brugman podcast. Prepare to be entertained.
Hello, America. Hello, Texas. Welcome back to episode 93 of the Gary Brugman podcast. Thank you for being here another week with me. We got a great show for you tonight. It's just me and Angry Kev today, talking all kinds of stuff that happened during the past week. I didn't bring you a podcast last weekend, but this one's going to be great. So hold on to something tight because we're bouncing off all kinds of guardrails. So let's get to it. What's happening, Kevin?
Not much, hanging out, waiting to hear about all the wonderful stories from where you were at over the last week and all the cool stuff you've seen.
I see some cool stuff, don't I?
Oh, yeah. You got to meet some cool people, too.
Yeah, dude. I can't complain about my life, man. I just happen to be at the right places at the right times. And if there's a time that doesn't allow me to be at the right place, I make myself there one way or another. So, you know.
That works.
Yep. Like the Gundies by invitation only. How I got invited, I don't know, but I did. So.
You know a lot of people, man. You know a lot of people.
So, and after this weekend, it was pretty damn great, too, bro. But, you know, there's a lot of things going on in this world right now that got me kind of freaking crazy. You know, the whole invasion of Ukraine, the whole Russian thing, this idiot that we have for a president. I don't want to get too much into that because I'm in a good mood, but it's still on the back of my mind. You know, just because we can't play, you know, ostrich in the sand. You know, just because we don't like it and we don't want to talk about it doesn't mean it's not happening. You know, and it is happening. So one thing that worries me is that all these prices are gonna go up, and dude, it's just, I don't know. When Trump was president, you know, Putin didn't even freaking look at Ukraine the wrong way, you know. Right. And what last time he came out and took Crimea was when Biden was in charge of Ukraine and he was the vice president. So It's obvious Putin's got no respect for the president that we have now. So.
Well, he's probably had more of a one-on-one conversation with the guy, so he knows what kind of idiot he's dealing with.
Exactly. And that's exactly the damn truth, man. So, you know, we as a nation, basically, you know, the Titanic's sinking and we're just holding on for the ride, bro. You know? Well,
hopefully I can get one of them life preservers.
Yeah, right? Fuck that. I want a lifeboat.
This guy's got people with their freaking rocks chained to their ankles and stuff like that have us going down with the ship.
Yeah, man, that's
crazy. And he's trying to escape, you know, not taking any responsibility for anything. He's the reason why. I mean, that's exactly why Putin's doing what he's doing, is because he knows that we have weak leadership.
Yeah, he knows that our CNC right now is a chump.
Yeah.
You know? So, but dude, before we kick this off, man, I got to dedicate this podcast. I had somebody I was going to dedicate it to, but I changed because there's a girl that I had met once, and she was Miss Alabama in 2021. She was 27 years old, and she was part of the whole Turning Point thing, Turning Point USA. You know, them young conservatives that are just brilliant, dude, brilliant. Where were these guys?
Up and coming.
Yeah, where were these people when I was young, man? When I was young, everybody was just a freaking stoner and a metalhead. You know. Now the cool thing to do is be part of Turning Point USA and show everybody how smart you are. I didn't know that. But her name was Zoe Sozo Bethel. Zoe Sozo Bethel. And she was 27-year-old, beautiful, beautiful girl. And they say it was an accident. I'm hearing that she jumped off a 7-story building. I don't know, man. Depression gets everybody. If you need help, reach out. Somebody wants to hear about it. But, you know, I mean, it's still an investigation, but that's the latest thing that I heard. And I'm kind of upset by it. But, you know, having almost been there a couple of times myself, I know what it feels like. So it feels like the whole world is ending, you know. But it says a police investigation to the deaths of Miss Alabama 2021 Zoe Sozo Bethel revealed that the beauty queen reportedly attempted to die by suicide by leaping off a building in Miami. The Miami Police Department reported that the 27-year-old model had jumped from a 7-story condo in the Edgewood neighborhood, which left her in a coma for over a week before she succumbed to her traumatic brain injuries. And that's from the New York Post. So I mean, it's not just a little website, you know. So
Right.
But then I just read it again, and it's still under investigation. So I don't know, man. But you know, this episode 93 of the podcast goes out to her, sweetheart. Love you, miss you. Thank you for being so sweet to me.
Right.
So onward. Cross that off my list. Got that.
Check.
Here we go. So, what's today's date, man? February 22nd?
Yes, it is. February 22nd.
Of 22. So, 22, 22, 22. Nothing like this will ever happen again, ever, until 22, 22, 22, 22. Really? Because, you know, we had 1/11/11, right? We had 1/11/11, but there is no 33 days, so there's not going to be a 3/33/33. No. You know, so this today, once we're done with this podcast, this will never happen again for another 200 years.
That's crazy.
Yeah, another 200 years. So when it's 22, 22, 22, 22. So, but today's got special meaning for me because back in 1998. I entered on duty on February 22nd. Today is when I entered the Border Patrol in Del Rio, Texas. I remember when at that time there was a episode. The episodes of Cribs were real big, and I had a video camera, and I was videotaping everybody. I'm like, "Hey, what's up?" Getting off the plane, and I got the videos around somewhere. I should break them out. But went down to Del Rio, and there were all these patrol agent in charge there from all the different stations, and they all introduced themselves. And I got sworn in, and then all the patrol agent in charge started introducing themselves, talking about their stations. They're all dressed up, and then this big beast gets up, and everybody was in a dress uniform. This dude's in a rough duty uniform. His boots are freaking dirty from beating the brush. He needs a freaking haircut. You could tell his freaking cowboy hat has a freaking sweatband around it, you know?
He's actually been out working.
Yeah. And he goes, "Who's going to Eagle Pass?" And we all raised our hands. He goes, "You ain't going to have no easy shit like they do over here. You're going to come work for me. So I'll see you when you get out of the academy." And he walked away. We're like, oh, fuck. That was Gordon Schneider, though. And me and him butted heads. But, man, we got along really good. But he knew that he can vent on me and yell at me, and I'd yell back, and I wouldn't, you know, be like, "Oh, he yelled at me," you know.
You're gonna go cry to somebody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Dude, he'd yell at me, and you know, being the patrol agent in charge, he obviously had rank on me. He'd start yelling at me and call me a little fucker and this, and let me tell you, and I'd yell back, but then he'd yell even louder.
Right.
So I just end up going, I'd be going like this, and then when he's done, I'd be like, "Are you finished?" And he'd be like, "Get the hell out of my office." And I walk out and I grab the door and I go, "Open or close, sir?" And he says, "Get out." So boom, I'd slam his door as hard as I could.
Did it have one of those glass windows in it? You try to break the glass out of it?
No, it was a metal door, but I could hear the pictures moving on the other side when I slammed it.
Break one of his awards
right?
off the wall.
And that was in 1998. And then one time he yelled at me and I slammed the door and I went across to the assistant patrol agent in charge, right? Ed Martinez. And he was actually the squared away guy. So Gordon was always out in the field and he was a agent's leader, right? We got out there and he'd help us, you know, find dope and cut sign. And one time I was talking to the APAC, the assistant patrol agent, Ed Martinez, and I'm like, "Dude, won't you ever come out in the brush? You know, you're always so nice and clean." He's like, "Well, somebody's got to run the station." He's like, "Who's going to run the station?" Him, you know?
Right? He's always gone.
Yeah.
He's like, work.
I said, "Okay, I see that." So me and Gordon had gotten into it, and I slammed his door, and I walked into Ed's office. I said, "Ed, I need to talk to you." And he looked at me and goes, "Do not come in here. Go."
Don't be bringing that stuff in here.
Yeah, it was fun. So, but yeah, that was 24 years ago, man. I thought I had my whole life planned out, graduated the academy, everything was good. Then, ironically, 3 years later, on February 22nd, tonight, well, it actually would have happened already. It was at 4:30 in the morning. I got into that infamous fight with that narcotic smuggler, with that dope smuggler. Cool. So I was working mids, and I was working with Serrano, and we were working a little further south. And about 4:30 in the morning, some agents called out that they had 46 traffic coming across, which is narcotics, 1046. So we usually respond to that pretty quick because wherever there's narcotics, there's guns. There could be a gunfight, whatever. So when somebody's positive 46, we all roll in as backup because the more guns we have, the better.
Right. Like you said, that's more likely going to be a volatile situation with all the stuff that's coming along with it.
The average load is about $250,000 that they bring across on their backpacks, and and they really don't want to lose that, even though they do it all the time, but they don't want to.
Right.
So we rolled in, and there were 7 mules. By the time we got there, like maybe a minute or two before, agents had jumped the load, and they were scattering. So me and my boy Johnny Parham, we chased a couple. We got 2 of them. Some other agents got 3 of them. There were 7. So we brought them in, and then I was looking for the other ones, and another agent, Agent Nino, was at the station on the infrared cameras, and he saw the 2 laid up in the tall grass through the infrared camera. So he kind of guided me in. I went over a fence. I had my night vision on. I had my nods, and he kept going. All right, to your 11 o'clock, to your 9 o'clock. All right, straight. And then I saw their silhouettes. Put my nods down, and I started walking towards them. And they saw me coming, so they got up and ran. So I started chasing them, yelling for him to stop in Spanish. Párense, párense. I'm running. They ran this way. They came to a fence line and banged a right. So I'm probably about 8 feet behind them. I'm running as fast as I can. I got 38 pounds of gear on.
Yeah.
And they're running, and they came to another fence line, another barbed wire fence. And the first one came and dived in between the strands of barbed wire.
Really?
Right? Like super. Yeah, dude, they do that. It's freaking amazing to watch, dude. Every time I see it, I cringe. I'm like, oh,
You're about to get caught up in some serious freaking tanglefoot or something.
And dude, they get cut up and it rips their clothes, but they don't give a shit. They go through.
Dude, I've been caught in that stuff. That is like nightmarish stuff to get caught in.
Sometimes, they don't make it all the time, but most of the time they do because they got the momentum. But sometimes they get caught up and they'll get halfway through and end up hanging. But anyway, this guy went all the way through, and the guy right in front of me,
you just catch him all looking like a marionette or something, waiting for you to pull the strings.
Yeah, and then they're calling all the help me names: Auxilio, socorro, ayúdame, help. So, and then So the second guy knew he wasn't going to make it because he was a little freaking fatter than the first guy. He's like, yeah, I'm not fitting through that, right? So
he's like, right turn.
So he hit the fence and flopped over. He hit the fence and flopped over. And I almost had him by his feet. But I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going over too. 'Cause I have body armor and shit, right? So I hit the fence and I flopped over it too. Now all 3 of us are on the ground on the other side. First guy gets up and runs because he had a few seconds head start. Gets up and runs. The guy in front of me starts getting up, and I get him by the legs and bring him back down, and we're tussling. And I don't know how the hell he did it, but the next thing I know, I saw my feet and the stars in the same picture. I said, oh, shit. Motherfucker body slammed me on the ground. Jumped on top of me. He was trying to choke me. I took a swing at him, and I missed, and then he pinned his arm on the ground, and I grabbed him by his collar, and I'm on the ground, and he still has one hand on my neck and one hand on my wrist. And I got him by his polo shirt, and I'm trying to get him off, and I can't get him off. I can't get him off me for nothing, dude. And I had just chased some other guys earlier, and then I chased these guys. Now I'm in a fight, and 38 pounds of gear. I'm out of breath, and I'm feeling it, and I'm starting to see yellow spots,
Oh yeah.
And the man,
stars.
Kevin, let me tell you, bro, a bunch of shit went through my brain in a split second, man. I was like, oh shit, I'm losing. I said, I can't lose. I got to win. And then I said, if I can get to my gun, the guy had a polo shirt on. I said, if I can get to my gun, that's where I'm going to put the bullet. And I even thought I'll have to turn my head. I said, I might lose an eardrum, but fuck it. But there was no way I can get to my gun because I was losing. Had I managed to get it out, I would have lost. He would have taken it from me.
Right.
So everything's starting to get real mellow, and everywhere I look, because I'm on the ground, everywhere I look, all I see is tall grass because we were in the tall grass. It was about, I don't know, maybe 15 inches high, maybe 2 feet high. So
looking for like a rock or anything?
I couldn't see nothing. I couldn't turn my head. He had me by the throat. So everything started getting real mellow on me, and I realized I was starting to take deep breaths. Hyperventilating, I don't know. But I remember screaming out, "God, help me, please." I screamed it out loud. "God, help me, please." And in that instant, I managed to twist my hand around, and I broke my hand free, and I clocked him on the side of the temple, and he fell off to my left side, and I immediately put my forearm into his throat. I climbed on top and put my forearm into his throat. And now his right arm is underneath me, and I can feel him grabbing at my gun belt. He's going for my handcuffs or whatever he can reach for. And I said, all right, this is going to end now. So I wound up, and I punched him 3 times in the nose. I actually fractured the pinky knuckle doing. I felt the break on the second one, and his eyes rolled back, and I hit him one more time because he was still fighting. Right. And then he started
screaming. One for good measure.
He was still fighting.
Hey, he's still fighting.
He's still fighting. And then he started calling out in Spanish, "Officer, don't hit me anymore, please." He said in Spanish, "Oficial, ya no me pegues, por favor." And I told him, "Stop fighting, son of a bitch. Pues no pelees, puto." And then he just lied there. And on my earpiece, I hear Nino yelling, "Hey, somebody get this guy. Somebody get, 746 and backup. He's in a fight. I can't see him anymore." And I could see agents running around, but I was in the tall grass. I couldn't.
Yeah.
So finally, I raised my hand.
Basically.
An agent came and cuffed him up, dragged him out, cuffed him up. Dude, and I lied there on the ground. Dude, it was a rough fight, bro. I mean, I really don't know how long it took. It could have been 30 seconds for all I know, but dude, it just seemed like it lasted an hour, bro.
Oh yeah.
And
when you're struggling, people don't know what it's like to jujitsu or any of that stuff. When you got it, your body starts to freaking lactic acid, all that stuff, because you're not used to working full body. And then to make it even worse, you're covered in that freaking gear. A lot of people don't realize that. They always think when you're an officer or border patrol that you should be able to run all these people down. You're they're not carrying a freaking gun belt, a bulletproof vest, freaking a pistol or rifle. And you know what I mean? Radio.
So I've actually weighed all the gear that I used to carry, like one of those suitcase things. And everything I mounted up was 38 pounds. All day long.
To carry.
Huh?
That's a good amount of weight to have to carry on that.
And to run in, and it sure is.
Climb stuff.
So, we took the guy back to the station. He was sentenced to 57 months in a federal prison for smuggling dope. They didn't even charge him with assault on a federal agent because, that unless we're taken to the hospital, they won't do that because we end up the Border Patrol gets in so many altercations. Even little ones, just putting people on the ground, and people put us on the ground all the time.
Right.
They do. It happens so often that it's just,
it's too much to record everyone.
Yeah,
basically.
They're complacent. They're like, I didn't get hurt. Even though I hurt my hand and I pulled the groin muscle that time. Unless I went to the emergency room hurt, they're not going to press assault on the federal agent charges, which I think is bullshit. But because damn good and well, if you get arrested and you pull away from an officer, that's assault on a freaking police officer, But no, we get slammed on the ground and beat up. It's okay. Well, anyway, the government, I got brought to trial on a separate case because I pushed somebody on the ground that wasn't paying attention. I didn't do shit to that guy. They raided this guy out of the prison and brought him to testify against me. So, anyway, it's the anniversary of that fight. 21 years ago today, I was in a fight of my life, and as far as a fist fight, I've probably been in more violent fist fights, but this is the first one that I knew that if I lost, I was going to die.
Right.
This is one I couldn't lose.
This is the one that I remember you've told me about it before, me and you just talked, and you brought up how you can still that feeling.
Every time I tell this story,
what's going on.
The guy was sweating on my face. His sweat was literally dripping on my face and in my mouth. Disgusting, I know, but it was happening. We were sweating. I can still smell the body odor that he had. I can still see the look on his face that he was giving me, and that motherfucker was going to kill me had he gotten a chance.
Yeah, traumatic moments burned into your mind.
Yep. When they brought him into court, it was on the second day. And when he walked through the doors, he scanned the room and saw me. Dude, I stood up. I stood up off my chair. My lawyer's like, sit down. I said, get the fuck off me. And he walked across the whole time, eyeballing me the whole time, sat up, swore in, crossed his arms and looked at me. So I crossed my arms, crossed my legs, and I started looking at him. And for 4 fucking hours, we stared at each other. He had an interpreter, and there was a marshal sitting behind him. He had an interpreter, and every time the interpreter would ask him a question, he would turn his head, answer the question, come back to me. You know? The tension in the courtroom was so thick, brother, that the Blue Jackets, you know, the federal district court officers, or whatever they call them now, they used to be DCOs, district court officers, they brought 2 more in.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's usually just 1 per courtroom. But they brought 2 more in because that's how that's how high the tension was.
They were waiting for like somebody to pop
somebody,
off, basically.
Yeah. and like I told the judge, I said, I don't know if anybody's ever tried to kill you, but if they have, I'm pretty sure if they put them in the same room with you, you wouldn't be sitting down. You know?
Yeah.
So
we wouldn't just be staring at each other. You're
right.
I'm controlling myself, basically.
Yeah, here you go, have a paper airplane, motherfucker. You know?
Yeah.
But anyway, today's the anniversary of that, 21 years ago, February 22nd, and well, life goes on, bro. I'm pardoned 20 years later, and shit, life goes on. So last week on Thursday, I left here on Thursday, and drove out to Fredericksburg. Man, I gotta take you out to Fredericksburg. Fredericksburg's a pretty cool town, man.
You gotta take me everywhere.
Yeah, I tried, but somebody was like, "Yeah, no, I don't want to do that."
I know, like I told you, like I would have wanted you to the Gundies, but
you know, whatever.
Yeah,
you weren't invited to the Gundies. I got invited to the Gundies,
but I know somebody who was though. So that was okay. You know, I can be Robin for a day.
Right. But Victor Avila had a fundraiser. And he's running for Texas Land Commissioner. Victor Avila is a retired ICE Homeland Security special agent who 11 years ago, actually on the 11th of this month, 11 years ago, was ambushed by La Zetas cartel, him and his partner in Mexico, and they murdered his partner while they were in a vehicle. It was an armored SUV. The windows were cracked. And they stuck their AK-47s into the windows and opened fire, murdered his partner. He got shot 3 times. Well, he's running for Texas Land Commissioner, and I don't know who else better than him for that job because he's a border security expert. His expertise is just amazing in all that he does, man. He's a brilliant, brilliant guy. So if you haven't voted in Texas, get out there and vote for Victor Avila for Texas Land Commissioner. You're not going to regret it. Your money's going to go to the right place, and good things are going to happen. But we were out in Fredericksburg, and my buddy Mark McKay, who's a country singer out of Nashville, brought his band down, and they played some awesome music. And we were hanging out, meeting people. I introduced Victor. I didn't know I was going to do it. I was just wearing my Black Rifle Coffee hoodie and a cowboy hat. And then they introduced me. They're going to do it. I was like, oh, dude, I didn't know I was doing this. I didn't even wear a jacket, you know? But it was cool.
You know, you walk into that kind of stuff all the time. But you know how many times you've told me that? Like, you didn't know. And then they're like, Gary, I want you to figure come up with. You're like, what?
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes I'm ready for it. Sometimes I'm ready for it. Sometimes I'm not, you know? But, I'll tell you this later. But, so we're hanging out, and I'm talking to this guy named Joe Burkett, I think it is. And we're talking, and he starts talking about Lara Logan. I said, oh, I love Lara Logan. He goes, well, I'm her husband. I'm like, get the fuck out, right? So he calls her up, and she shows up later on, man, and she was really, really, really cool, man. She remembered my case. She knew all about me, and I talked with her for almost an hour. And got a couple of pictures, and dude, she's just so humble and so real, you know what I mean? It was really good to meet her. I've been following her for 20 years, so.
I know, that's awesome.
Yeah, and the day before that, on Wednesday, I was in Bandera with Chad Prather.
You're always hanging out with everybody.
And that was a cool event too, man. And Chad, as usual, never forgets me because he, again, introduced me to the crowd and told my story. And, you know, he's running for governor of Texas. And one thing that he wants to do is secure the governor. So he always uses my story because he'd be like, dude, look what happened to this guy, you know? So, But he's another one that's, man, I hope he wins the election because good things will happen to Texas if he does. You know, and it's different. It's different when you like a candidate for one reason or another, you know, but when you know a candidate and know what they're capable of and know what they do, you know, that's a whole different story, brother.
Right. Well, I've sat there and listened to you, or we've listened to some of the stuff with Chad doing his podcast.
Right.
You know, that, and then fortunately enough, because I know you introduced us to him, and it was kind of funny because we just got to hang out with him just like a normal person.
Yeah.
Like, having a drink and stuff like that, and, watch his show and stuff. So, I mean, he's a really good guy. I like him.
That was the day that Steve Helms got me drunk.
Oh, Kevin got you drunk probably. It wasn't this one. It was the other
I know
one.
I was surrounded by Kevins that day.
You had like 3 Kevins around you that day.
Yep. Speaking of which, one of the Kevins was there that night as well. So out there, Kevin Wade, he's a good friend of mine, friend of Chad's, and he's always been a good cat, man. I hadn't seen him since I had COVID, and he was so glad to see me. I was glad to see him because he's such a mellow cat, dude. He's really cool. So on Wednesday, before I went out to Bandera to see Chad, I actually voted for the first time in 18 years, bro.
Yeah, I saw that.
I voted. Dude, I almost wanted to cry, man. I was like, man, last time I voted, there were boots with curtains around them.
Right,
you know?
Right.
And you had to like freaking pull levers and shit, you know?
Like a freaking...
Yeah, like a casino machine. Yeah, exactly. Like a freaking slot machine.
You're gambling with your vote.
Shit, that's more like it now.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's like now.
No shit, right? But dude, it was. I felt really good when I looked on the ballot and I saw, for Texas governor, and I saw Chad Prater. I was like, fuck yeah! I double checked it 3 times. I was like, yep, I got the right one. Yep,
that's the one.
I'm making sure this don't get fucked up. Yep, that's the one. And
awesome.
And then I rolled down and it said Texas Land Commissioner, and Victor Avila. I was like, yes, there we go. So get out there and vote for Chad Prather and Victor Avila. Those are my picks. In this country, you're blessed to vote for whoever the hell you want. My picks are Chad and Victor. Take my advice. That if you trust anything I say, take my advice. These are your candidates.
Actually, I think today, when I checked the mail, me and Patty got ours for voting here in Texas.
Oh, really?
Yeah, our cards came.
Well, the early voting is going on now until, I think, the 25th, which is Friday?
I believe.
Today's the 22nd. Yeah. Early voting until Friday. And then the actual election day is, the actual primary is on the 1st. So if you don't get out there this week, you got to get out there on the 1st. Don't fuck around, Kevin.
I won't. I'm going to make sure I vote for Chad. I already told him I told him in person that I'd vote for him.
It's good to move to a state and know the governor.
Right? That would be very awesome, because anytime I have a problem, I'll be like, the whole angry rate
and bro,
here, I have problems with that.
now let me tell you, that's the whole reason I'm voting for him, because when I was trying to get a pardon, right, as usual, I was trying to seek as much help as I can. I wrote and tried to contact Governor Abbott. I actually talked and spoke to Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, who told me, well, call my office, talk to this lady, set an appointment. I'll do what I can to help you. I can never get an appointment. My lawyer couldn't get an appointment. We're like, he told us to call you. And she's like, no, Anyway, Alan West. I respect Alan West for everything he does. If Chad weren't in the picture, I might vote for him. I don't know. But when Alan West wrecked his motorcycle back in 2020, it was during COVID. I drove all the way to Waco from Fort Worth. I was living in Fort Worth. I drove all the way to Waco, which is about an hour and a half from where I was living, and brought him a couple of gun magazines and a book to read. They wouldn't let me up because of COVID, but his daughter was down there. And I gave her the magazines, and I told her my story, and I said, I'm trying to see if he'll help me. And, I just wanted, I've wrecked motorcycles, so, I want to make sure he was okay. Never got so much as a thank you. My business card was in there, never got so much as a thank you. So with Chad, somebody had actually told him my story, and he contacted me on Instagram and said, dude, somebody just told me the story about you. Why don't you give me some more details? So I told him, and he was like, you know what, man? This is bullshit. I'm gonna make some phone calls, see what I could do. What he did, I don't know. But a year later, I had a lot of people help me, but a year later, I got a pardon.
Hey.
You know?
Can't knock it.
So, you know, that's what I want. You know, he didn't have to call me. He heard my story, and he was like, dude, what can I do?
Yeah, he actually reached out to you versus the other way around.
Exactly. You know,
That's awesome.
Yeah, and then that's what I want in the governor. I want somebody to reach out to the people and be like, dude, what do you need?
Somebody that's really listening to like the people.
Exactly. And do it when Chad goes up and does his speeches, he listens to everybody. He takes note. He's brilliant, dude. I mean, he may seem like he's a comedian or and a cut up and whatnot. The guy's brilliant, bro. Nothing gets past him. So yeah, so what are you laughing at?
I'm just because I was remembering when we were just like literally when we met him, like he's just such a casual dude. He's in jeans and a t-shirt and he just came up drinking beers, talking to us at the bar before he even went on stage. I didn't even realize who it was until you actually like, hey, this is Chad. I was like, oh, hey, what's up, buddy? I was like, what's up, man? Totally just a regular down to earth guy. That's why I was just remembering it. So it was kind of funny because it was so casual, like not none of that weird, awe-struck type of thing. It was just like a dude you're hanging out with at the bar. You're like, hey, what's up, man?
So dude, from what time am I at? All right, so let me do this. I got before I forget. I need to thank. Who do I need to thank, Kevin? 5150 Rifles. You thank 5150 Rifles. Spectre Holsters. Thank you so much. R2 Ammo. I'll see you guys soon. Taking my security class on March 1st.
Nice.
Pat Shops. Oh, I was just with Pat Shops at the Gundies, dude. I had a great time with Pat Shops. There we go. Where's mine? Oh, it's here somewhere. Hold yours up, Kevin. There you go.
I win.
There you go. You win.
Look, there's one back, right back there.
There it is. There it is. Yeah, so Patch Shops made the Gary Brugman podcast patch. They made it as a fundraiser for me when I was dying. And I got some more coming in. So if you want one, send me a message or an email, and I'll tell you how you can get one. But, dude, they made such cool patches. They had all kinds of patches going on at the Gundies. But Tim and Michelle from Pat Shops, love you guys. You guys are the bomb. You guys are my family. It's totally awesome. And who else am I missing?
What about John 1513?
Oh, here we go. Books you got to read. All right. We got John 1513 by my brother John Nicholas Castle, John St. Nick. All right. You got to read this book. It's his story about how he went from a young lad to a rookie police officer to Blackwater to Dynacor to fighting in the war on terror. He's a good friend of mine. I love him to death. Don't forget American Sheriff by American Sheriff Mark Lamb.
I don't have that one.
Yeah, no, this one's good, man. This one's good. And the American Sheriff, he's pretty cool. He follows me on Instagram. I'm so freaking pumped. And Agent Under Fire by my buddy Victor Avila, who's running for Texas Land Commissioner. Make sure y'all get this book. It tells everything about the ambush that happened and how he became an ICE agent and everything, bro. It's a murder and a manifesto. That's what it says right there. So, but if you want to laugh your asses off and be like, holy shit, this guy's insane, you got to get Welcome to Blackwater. You got to get Welcome to Blackwater, man. This is a great book by my buddy Morgan Lorette. And he was supposed to come on the podcast, but he's kind of busy. Remember we talked to him that one day in the truck?
Yeah.
And he's been pretty busy. He's got some things going on, but he will be here eventually. And I still say the back cover is pretty intimidating as well. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I like
so
that.
make sure you get these books. And some other thank yous I want to throw out there real quick. I want to thank the Ox Ranch for hosting the Gundie Awards this weekend. Drive Tanks as well for everything that they did hosting the Gundies. And I want to thank Will and Ben and everybody else at the Gundies for having me out there. And dude, Uncle Pete was also, I met a guy named Pete. We've been calling him Uncle Pete because there's a guy who came up with a tactical slang. His name's Neil. And he's one of the JSOC guys, and this guy's his uncle. So we've been calling him Uncle Pete. And the guy was a bomb, man. I got a couple of slings. I got a couple of cool freebies, man. And Savior Equipment gave me a couple of cool range bags. Man, it was just such a great time out there. We're going to talk about that next. But thank all of y'all. I'm not going to post anything here. Everything will be in the credits as it rolls. Your names will be up there. And, yeah, let's get with that. Back to the show. 3, 2, 1. There we go.
Action.
Rolling. So, Uvalde, bro. Uvalde was freaking awesome. I hadn't been there. I've chased freaking drug loads and alien loads all through Uvalde. Back when I was in Eagle Pass, it's only 73 miles, and you can't picture getting to a 73-mile car chase, right? You know,
right.
Dude. But when you got nothing but freaking highway and you're after them with lights going and they're not stopping, you ain't got nothing to do but. Hey man, change the channel.
Right. Change the radio station.
Yeah, change the radio station. Put on another song, dude. Woo, woo, woo. Dude, I've chased cars, almost 100 miles till we got almost to San Antonio, man.
Jeez.
Because they won't stop, and then there's nobody in between there, and the people that aren't back then, we didn't have spike strips, you know. Right. So it was either wait till they bail out or they wreck or something.
Or run out of gas.
Something, yeah, exactly. So anyway, Uvalde's a cool town. That's where Matthew McConaughey is from, and it's actually a really cool cowboy town, man. So the Ox Ranch is about 27 miles outside of this. It's in Uvalde County, but it's outside of the city of Uvalde. And man, when you get there, dude, this place is 18,000 acres. 18,000 acres. It's got rivers, creeks. They have cabins all over there that you can stay in. You can go there and hunt. They have all kinds of deer and axis, and dude, they have a safari area where they have. I mean, when I was driving in, there were zebras running around. You know,
wow.
There were zebras running around. There were antelope, gazelles. There was a freaking yak. You know what a fucking yak is, right? It looks like a buffalo, but with like a freaking geek haircut like this.
Yeah, they got the butt part head.
Exactly, the butt part head. Exactly, the ass crack head, right? So they had freaking yak. They had zebras, and in the pens they had 2 hump camels. You know,
wow.
which you know, you go
it's like
somewhere.
a wildlife preserve. It's like a wildlife preserve almost.
Yeah, exactly.
It's crazy.
And you know, when you go to the zoo, you usually see a lot of 1 hump camels. These are 2 hump camels, which I haven't seen since I was a kid at the Bronx Zoo. You know,
2-cylinder. Versus 1.
Yeah, exactly. But and in the pens they also had some rhinoceroses.
See, those would have been really cool to get up next to a freaking rhino.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I was like, look at this shit. I took a video. I'll send it to you. I took a video. I was like, look at this shit. They got rhinoceroses. Oh, and they got giraffes.
Oh, the giraffes up there?
Yeah, they got giraffes. And everybody went and fed them and stuff like that. I was like, I ain't going to feed no giraffe. So, but when you get over there, they call it the tank barn. And it is funny because I didn't know exactly where I was going, so I stopped at the main cabin, at the lodge area, the check-in, and I asked her where on. She goes, no, just keep going down till you hit the Sherman tank, bang it left, and go into the tank barn. I was like, okay, left at the Sherman tank. Gotcha.
That sounds like some of your guys' Border Patrol freaking landmarks, dude, like down there by the Volkswagen.
Yeah. Oh, no, the Gremlin.
The Gremlin, that's what it was, the Gremlin. I thought it was some kind of car, the bushes or something.
Dude, so when I was in the Border Patrol, when I first got there, I was working in an area that I didn't know, and a sensor was going off. So I asked somebody for, on another channel. I was like, hey, how do I get to this sensor? I don't know exactly where they're at. They told me, well, you go down this road, and then when you get to the abandoned house, you make a left, and then once you see the Gremlin, you go past it and over the fence, and that'll be the sensor. That's where you lay up and wait for him. I was like, the Gremlin? And they're like, yeah, you can't miss it. And I'm thinking, where the fuck? I'm like, where the fuck? I said, there better not be no goddamn Gremlin waiting for me there. And sure as shit, it was an old AMC Gremlin car that the tree had literally grown through. A tree had grown through it, and it actually had it lifted off the ground. So
right.
there was no way you're getting this car out of here without cutting it in half.
Right.
So you kept on going past the Gremlin, but fucking agents.
Hey, that's the easiest way to remember things, right? You gave them literal directions. You're like, go to the Gremlin.
Yeah, and they'll remember things by when you fuck up in the Border Patrol too, because we had this guy that wrecked on a curve. His name was Greg DeMille, right? So they named that DeMille's Curve, you know, DeMille's Curve. And then they had De Leon something, and of course they had Brugman's Landing, you know. But we're not going to talk about that. But
yeah, well, another time.
yeah, exactly. But yeah. So the Gundie Awards is actually a pretty serious awards night for everybody in the gun industry. They had about 45 vendors there. I mean, CMMG was there, X Products, Nemo Arms, Primary Arms, Classic Firearms was there doing interviews, man. I hung out with those guys. Oh, dude, Clint is the bomb, bro. Clint is the bomb. And Ryan and Katie and, dude, the whole crew was just awesome. And they were working. They were doing their job every chance they get, man. I was with them, and very, very cool young cats, man. And they're young, too. You know, I was looking at Clint on YouTube, and, you know, when I see him in person, he actually looks like a young little cat. He's smaller than he looks on TV, you know, and he looks a lot younger too in person. So, but dude, brilliant. The guy talks and interviews, doesn't miss a freaking beat, bro. And I
watch him all the time.
Who else was there? Alex
Zadra.
Alex Zadra was there. Brian Morgan, her boyfriend. Dude, that was my man crush for the whole weekend. That was my man crush for the whole weekend. And it was embarrassing because I didn't have a freaking haircut. He's a barber. I didn't have a haircut, and I told him that night at the gala. I was like, man, you know what's embarrassing? I said, I made this post. He goes, yeah, I know, I saw it. I was like, yeah, but I was gonna write the most embarrassing thing is I didn't have a good haircut. He goes, oh, you should have told me, man. I was giving out haircuts early. I was like, get the fuck out. Oh man, I missed it.
Could have got a trim and everything while you're out there blowing
no
stuff up.
Shit, right? Not just a trim, but from Brian Morgan.
Right.
Dude, and dude, the guy's got badass motorcycles. He's into old iron heads and shit and shovel heads. Yeah, dude. And but Alex was awesome. I hung out with them quite a bit at the dinner and the after party. Who else was there?
You said the Pat Chops guys were there.
Pat Chops was there. Oh, and then of course you had the gun girls, you know, Sarah, Amy, Bulletproof Blondie, Run Gun Heather. They were all there, dude. And you know, when you watch them shoot, man, these girls can actually shoot. You know?
Right, they've actually got some skills.
Yeah, they've actually got some skills. You know, like freaking Sarah. You know, Triceratops, right? Dude, she was in the Army. She's a firearms instructor. She's a welder. She does all kinds of shit, dude.
Dang,
and
she's more manly than some men out there.
No kidding, right? No, did I tell you I need to go get a pedicure on Thursday? Never mind. But dude, it was a real good time. That guy, Uncle Pete, his nephew Neil makes these slings called McLean slings. So they're man, I should have brought one out. It's a single point, right? It's a single point. Okay. You know what? I'm gonna try to pause this. Hold on. All right. So give me a second. I gotta strap this on. So just so everybody sees, I've got an empty magazine. And I'm clear. All right, just put this in there for looks so you get the swing of it. So it's got a HK hook that hooks into the QD into the back here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so this sling, you've got it set up. It could be a 1-point sling, right? So you can get out and move around and everything, right? You got your 1-point sling, but if you need to, when you have a 1-point sling and you let it hang,
it's kind of in an area where it's all.
And I get comfortable putting it here, but it's still just hanging there, you know?
Right.
And if you got to put hands on somebody, this is always going to be there. So over here, we've got, let me try to light this up a little bit better. Give me a second.
Was it like another attachment, like a QD swivel?
Yeah. No, it's got I'll show you.
Or one of those quick detach
It's got one of these clips.
Ah.
All right. And check out this attachment that they make as well. See that QD clip right here?
I can see the things together. Oh, yeah.
All right. It's solid, but it's movable. You can press it down and take it right out.
Oh, I think I've seen one of those just recently.
So let me get rid of this so you can see, because I had it tied in there. Check this out.
Yeah, you just squeeze it and it comes right out of the M-lock or key mod or whatever.
Check this out. See the end? Oh no, the ends of it there. You squeeze it, and
just squeeze it,
and it goes into any M-lock and fits nice and tight, dude. Right in here like this. Oh, not like that.
Perfect.
Like this. There you go. It's in.
That's awesome.
You know. So then you take this clip over here. And you got it right here.
And then you got the quick release on the side. Give yourself a little bit of slack.
You can tighten up. And you can have your gun right here. And then you can put your hands on somebody, and it's not going anywhere. It's here.
Right.
You know? It's not going anywhere. It's secure. You know?
Yeah, it's nice and tight against the body. Secure.
And there you go, nice and tight, brother. And you can wear it.
Awesome.
And it's a 2-point. But,
right.
You know, if you got to get in, you got this little band right here. See that?
Uh-huh.
Got that little band. You pull on that guy, you're back to a 1-point. You know?
Back to business.
I like it, dude. I like it a lot. It's badass.
And that's Uncle Pete's boy?
Huh?
That's Uncle Pete's boy?
Yeah, exactly.
That makes sense.
So it just fits good, bro.
That's awesome.
And then, of course, I got my little whip machine at the front.
Right.
Oh, and check this out. Break this loose. Check this out.
Nice.
Yep.
Laser.
Yeah.
I can see it. Actually, I can see it coming back into your coins in the back.
That's what I was watching. You know, I got one of these for you.
Yeah.
It's tight, dude.
You attach it to the actually, I'll put it on my 300 blackout because then it'll go with it because it's green.
Yep. There we go.
I can see it on the mirror again, or the glass. And that one's adjustable too, right?
And that's right here. In this piece right here.
Yeah, it's the hand stop basically.
Yep. You grab it here, and there you go. It's freaking badass, dude. I love this sling. And I've been having trouble
like your favorite
finding
gun,
a
isn't
good
it?
sling too, you know? So I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to review it. Give it a better review than what I did now, you know?
Right. Actually go out and put it to some usage.
I actually want to get out and actually use it for a change. But
right.
But dude, they're badass. They retail, I think you said, for like $80, I think.
Oh.
I'm not sure, so don't quote me on that. But yeah, dude, it was a good time.
You know what? Another person I think I've seen that you saw is Autumn's Armory, that little girl.
Yes, she won a Gundie.
Did she?
Yeah, she won a Gundie.
She's awesome. Every time I watch that girl shoot, like, she's just so awesome. She's just a little kid, knows all about, you know, muzzle awareness, you know, safety with her firearms. She's all about shooting stuff. It's so funny to see.
I love this pistol because the recoil on it is minimal, and I use a 26 grain.
Yeah, right. She knows more than a normal adult.
Yep.
Like freaking probably would.
Yeah, she won a Gundie, bro.
That's awesome.
But
yeah, what did you do in that? The picture that I seen, it looked like. Did you have her standing up on a chair?
She was sitting on a chair. She was at the bar.
Okay.
Yeah,
she looked like she was standing up though. When like that one picture I seen that you had taken with her.
No, I think she was sitting up. I don't remember. Oh, you know what? Fuck, I got it right here. Hold on, let me see. Yeah, no, and she was cool, dude. I was like, you know, I asked her dad too. Her dad was there, and I was like, can I take? She's standing. Yeah, there she is. Yeah, she was kneeling.
Oh, was she?
Yeah, she was kneeling.
That's still so funny.
Yeah. So So man, I apologize, but I forgot this cat's name. But this guy's on Call of Duty, and he's cool. I've ran into him a few times.
It's Tony Samata or something like that.
Yeah,
He goes by Lurch on the game.
Oh, is that who he is?
I remember I seen you in that picture too. That guy's like an ex like military SWAT team, like all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, he's the face of Hazard 4 equipment. Right. So when I was at the SHOT Show, I told Hazard 4 that they needed to really deep six his ass and put me up there, because I need to be the face of Hazard 4. I need some endorsements.
Right.
And his face is everywhere. It's on Recoil Magazine. It's on Call of Duty. I'm like, come on, man. There's only so much of this guy you can see. Really?
Right.
No,
he's actually an animal. He does a lot of stuff too, where they show him doing some of his workouts. He does some crazy stuff.
Dude, he was telling me, man, he's got like 6 companies that he runs, dude.
I can imagine. I mean, the guy's got his finger in everything. Mm-hmm. And then he'll still find time to do videos where he'll do reviews on like the mini Draco that he's got set up and stuff like that. And then he'll go over workouts. I mean, that guy must not get any sleep. He's just always into something.
Yeah. Yeah, man. And who else was there? There were just so many people there. It was freaking awesome. I had such a good time all weekend long. And let's see, on Friday was the sponsors day because they set up the booths and got all the equipment done, and they went in and zeroed the rifles so that the shooters can have them zeroed in the next day, right? So they shot there, and Nemo Arms was there, and they were next to X Products. And right next to them was this company called Firebird, and they had like these little discs. They look like my patch, like a little coaster, and you stick them on the back of a clay pigeon, and when you shoot them, it's like tannerite. Boom! They freaking explode when you shoot them with a shotgun.
That's awesome.
Yeah, no, it was pretty freaking intense, dude. I was like, what the hell you got? And then I realized that it was that. The only downside is you have to actually stick one on each freaking pigeon. You know what I mean?
Right, you have to physically do each one instead of actually just buying them already made that way or something.
Yeah, I'd be like, man, can I just lay them out on a target? And they were like, yeah, you can do that too. So you can actually put them on a target and then boom, blow
stick it on the target. That's awesome.
Yeah. So, I mean, there was so many good products out there, man. Advanced imaging or something like that, man. These guys have a scope. It goes for like $1,100. It's a scope, but it's an electronic scope, and you can see like a mile away, bro, through a screen. You can see a sticker because they'll take a sticker, and put it like on something. And well, dude, remember we saw it when we were at that
when we were at that last
show.
Hanging out with Blackwater when we were with Blackwater.
Right, in Temple.
They had the sticker on the wall, and they were looking at it through there.
Right.
But for like $1,100 for that thing, that's not bad. Yeah. You could see like that, and it was clear. It was right there.
Well, they were there again. Same guys were there, so I was talking to them again. But this time they had it further out. They had it further. Oh, freaking Jerry Michalik was there.
Nice.
And his daughter. I ended up smoking a cigar with freaking Lena.
Right.
That was cool.
A picture of that, I think.
Yeah. I was smoking a cigar with Lena. She was cool. She remembers me from SHOT Show because we everybody was like, oh shit, it's Lena Michalik. And I was like, fuck, I'm going to get a picture. So I got a picture with her, and once I went, man, she got hounded. She was like, this is your fault. This is your fault. I was like,
as long as I got mine first.
I was like, nope, you got me drunk.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, man, freaking Clint from Classic Firearms was just a bomb, man. He was cool. He
got you drunk too, though.
He did get me drunk. That's a true story.
That's a good story.
That's a true story, man. And Katie and Ryan and dude, they were just such cool people, man. I had such a good weekend. So on Saturday was the same thing that we did on Friday, except it was for all the shooters and the attendees and guests and stuff. There were like 500 more people.
Right.
You know? So on Friday night, I ended up smoking a couple of cigars. Gurkha Cigars provided cigars all weekend long. It was never ending.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're good cigars too, bro. And Friday night, I ended up leaving and going to Concan to a little after party with Pat Chops. They had an Airbnb up there. And we hung out up there, a little bonfire, the whole thing. And then Saturday we went and did the show, the Gundies. And then everything ended at about let's see. It was the range ended around noon. All right, they had the Mad Minute where they made the range code. Everybody loaded up magazines, and then it was the Mad Minute. So everybody just shooting guns for a whole freaking minute. It was
Everybody
intense.
just freaking magged up.
And then they fired the tank. They fired the Sherman tank, and then they fired 2 RPGs, man. 2 RPGs, and dude, I heard HK. Oh, H&K was there too. H&K sponsored the RPGs, man. I heard they're like $4,000 a piece, bro.
Crazy.
You can go shoot an RPG if you want. It's gonna cost you $4,000. You know, but hey, if people have the money and they never fired an RPG and want to, that's the place to do it.
You can join the military and they'll pay you to do it.
Yeah, no kidding, right? No, but then they might have to use it for real.
Yeah, this is true. That's
Everybody wants to be an operator till it's time to do operator shit.
So shit gets real.
Exactly, brother, exactly. But then they had the expo, which is where, you know, the attendees actually went and saw all the booths for the first time and all the giveaways and all that kind of stuff. And that ended at around 4:30, from like noon to 4:30. And then after that, we had a little bit of a break. Everybody go get ready for the awards. That's the red carpet started at 7. So
Gotcha.
they actually had a red carpet, bro. They had the red carpet. They had the wall, you know, with the Gundies and taking pictures. It was just a good time. And then the ceremony started. The after party was the shit. You know, we had flamethrowers, flamethrowers at the after party, all kinds of stuff. Man, it was just a good time.
Even the Gundies, the actual, is it a statue? Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's a statue.
Is it like a little metal statue?
Yeah.
Man, the picture of the actual Gundies is awesome. It's literally like a guy holding an AR-15 on his shoulder.
It's like this. He's got the rifle over here and taking a selfie over here.
And the statue is awesome. I seen just the big picture of what it like the one you showed me, but
yeah, hold on.
I wasn't sure if it was like a little metal guy or what.
Here it is. Oh, hold on, let me make it.
Oh my God, that's funny. That's actually a cool award.
Yeah.
You just literally.
Yep. Hold on, it's like this.
You're gonna grab your rifle.
That's what the Gundie Award looks like.
Hey, everybody, come look how cool I look.
Exactly. Which I find funny as fuck too, man. But you know,
awesome.
You know what? It's cool. They goof on themselves, man.
Yeah, right. Not serious. Even though it's like a serious kind of like industry, it's good to not relax, have fun. Don't be all uptight about it.
So after, let's see how much time we got. We got a few more minutes. So after the Gundies on Sunday, I was gonna go see my buddy Hector Escamilla, he was a Borstar agent with me in Eagle Pass, and he was Borstar before he worked with me before he was Borstar, and he's a great guy. He ended up with some MS, and he's in a wheelchair now. So he lives in Uvalde. So I was gonna go see him, and I had left my glasses over at the ranch, so I went back to go get them while he was getting ready. Because he said it takes him a while because he's in a wheelchair. So on my way back, I was on the phone and he called me. So I ended up calling him back. I was about 8 minutes away. I said, dude, I'm about 8 minutes out. He's like, all right, brother. He goes, I'm gonna need you to help me when you get here. I kind of took a fall. I'm like, dude, are you okay? He's like, yeah, I'm fine. I fall all the time. I'm just on the ground, So I pulled myself over to the door and unlocked it. So just come on in. I was like, all right. I'm on my way, bro. So I picked up the speed a little bit. And when I got there, I'm walking through his front porch, and he's like, come on in, Gary. And I walk in, and he's just lying on the ground, And I come up, and I stand over him.
Casual. This is normal.
He's like, hey, what's up, man? And he's lying on the ground, and I'm like, what's up, Hector? How you doing? and I'm like, Did you hear that?
I did.
That's Gene Vandenham, baby. The hell is texting me? Oh.
Did you ask your buddy when did he pick up a career in being a doormat?
Yeah, yeah. So I'm looking at him, and he's like, "Hey, Gary, what's up?" I'm like, "How you doing, Hector?" He's like, "Oh, I'm all right." I'm like, after 15 plus years not seeing you, this isn't exactly what I had planned. So I kind of sat on his freaking fireplace, and he was just lying there on the ground, and he's like, "Dude, just feel my legs, right?" And his legs, dude, were as stiff as a freaking oak tree, bro. Cause
Really?
yeah, and he can't bend them. And he says, he goes, he's like, honestly, he goes, I was excited that you were coming, and when I'm calm, my legs bend easily. He goes, but I get excited and they get stiff. I'm like, dude, don't be telling me that.
Dude, he literally got leg hard on for you.
Yeah, exactly. He got leg wood.
That's crazy.
He got leg wood.
It'd be like petrified leg.
So then I got him up and I put him on the chair, and we sat there and talked for a while. We talked old stuff. We were talking about how they don't make Border Patrol agents like us anymore, and no matter how good they are, they're not going to be what we were. And I said, of course, we'll never be what the old patrollers were,
right.
So, but then we went out back, and dude, I had a really, really good time with him. And he started laughing real hard, and he was sitting on his wheelchair. And I was like, dude, if your legs start sticking straight out, I'm going to kick you. I'm going to kick you if your legs start sticking straight out. But no, dude, but he was in his wheelchair. He's like, dude, check this out. So he grabs a rail, and he can stand up, and he can sit down, and he can do squats. He goes, I just can't move my feet. I can't walk.
Oh, wow. He just doesn't have like the flexibility.
He's got leg strength. He's like, dude, watch. I'll get in my wheelchair, and he'll stand up and twist and land in his chair because he can't move his feet. He says, I can't even lift him a half inch off the ground. And dude, me and this guy used to run all through the brush, man. And I was telling him about, my paralysis and stuff and how I felt. And he's like, dude, it's crazy. God wanted us to slow down. I said, I guess. I don't know. When I was lying there, when I came out of the coma, when I had COVID, I was lying there. I'm like, why did God want me to experience this? Because there's no other reason that he says, you need to know what this is like. So right. I don't know. I know he don't make mistakes. He works in mysterious ways, but I don't get it sometimes. So.
Yeah, I remember a couple of times when we came to visit you up there in the hospital and stuff like that, or the recovery place, that you had that look on your face a lot of the time where you just looked like almost like you were perplexed or kind of like puzzled because you couldn't do things that you normally were used to doing, like just like the eating without being able to like keep your hand from shaking and stuff like that. It's
the first time you went, your wife had to feed me.
Yeah, we did. But we brought you some good food because you get tired of that hospital.
Dude, I kept seeing shit on TV. I'm like, I want that.
Bring me pizza.
Yeah.
Like you really, 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 though, I think your favorite thing was when we got you those M&Ms.
Yes. Oh, dude.
Peanut butter M&Ms.
Those things lasted me for 2 weeks, bro.
Well, we got you the family size bag.
Yes. Yes. Dude, and I still remember there was a couple of times because I couldn't really lift my hands to my mouth because my hands would shake. And I dropped a couple, and the next morning I was like, where the hell are these things? The next morning the nurse would be like, what is that? And I have like smeared peanut butter all over my freaking chest.
Do you have like the blue from the outside of the shell or something on you? Like, hey,
yep.
Check that out. I ate a Smurf last night.
Exactly, bro. But you know what time it is, man? It's time for us to go, bro. Yeah, we're past the time already, man. So.
Yo, it's your man's Big Daddy Roughneck.
And this has been another episode of the Gary Brugman Podcast. Hey, thank you everybody for being with us for another hour. It's been a good trip this time around, man. We had a lot of stuff to talk about. We love you. We want you to stay safe, stay vigilant, be savage. God bless y'all. God bless Texas. God bless America, man. Remember, stay frosty. Always watch your six. Kev, thanks for spending some time with me. I will see you soon. Peace, everybody. God bless America.